I've been selling books on Amazon KDP now for several years, and over this time I've spent thousands of dollars on ads. But I know that not everybody has that amount of income to spend. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can run Amazon ads on a small budget. So over on Amazon, across the last several years, I've spent over $15,000 on ads. But what's great to see is that has resulted in over $80,000 in royalties. And often what you need to do over on Amazon is invest in ads in order to see success over the long term. And that is what I have seen. But especially when you just get going, you don't need to spend thousands on ads. Whatever your budget is, I'm going to look at what I would do if I had $10, $50, $100 a month to spend on ads. So what we want to be focusing on with a small budget to begin with is just focusing on one marketplace. That'll be your main marketplace where you want to sell your book. For the majority of people who are publishing in English, that is the US dashboard. But if you're publishing a British book, a German book, a French book, you'd be better off using that marketplace for your ads. But as the US has the largest customer base, I'm going to use this one as an example. So if you come on over to Amazon Ads and click Create Campaign, you can either select a sponsored products or a sponsored brands ad. So if we click Continue, in the US you can either do a custom text or a standard ad. We're just going to leave that as standard for now. And then you need to give your ad group a name. So I'm going to show you how I would promote my Dogs Unleashed coloring book if, say, I only had $20, $30, $40 a month. So after you've given your ad group a name that is distinct and that you'll know exactly what it is, you need to target your product. So if we click add here, we can scroll down. And so I'm going to show you what ads I would set up if I had a small budget. And the first one that we want to do is a product ad. And if we come onto a similar product here and you scroll down to the products related to this item, if you're using product ads, this is where your book will appear. That's great for if someone clicks on a popular book and they think, oh, it's maybe not quite right for me. Let's scroll down, see what else there is. And then just there underneath, your book could appear. And therefore they might click on it, think it looks interesting. And you need to have a very strong cover in order for that to work well. So what we want to do, seeing as we don't have a high budget, is target as many products as possible. So back to our ad, we click manual targeting, product targeting, and then we're going to target individual products. I always change this to custom bid, especially when you're bidding a low amount. And you want to bid something like 10, 15 cents. This bid likely won't serve on all of your books because it's a very low bid. Normally I bid 40 cents. So we're coming really low down here to try and get some cheap clicks. And then all you want to do is search around for similar coloring books, but you want to add as many as possible. And to do that, you can click this add all button. Otherwise, you can just go down and click and add all of the books that you want to target. But seeing as we want to go really broad with this product ad, I wouldn't limit yourself to very similar sort of books that you're competing against. But also go for cat colouring book, animal colouring book, relaxing colouring book. And then you can also go into dog gifts for women, dog gifts for adults. So you want to get a ton of products in here at that low bid. So I've just added 12 to begin with, but you probably want to add hundreds. I'd say a minimum of 200 or 300 in here in order to get results. Then you come on down to your campaign bidding strategy. So you definitely don't want to be doing up and down because that's going to increase your bids. So you could either do fixed bids, where you know every click is going to be charging 10 cents, or you can do the down-only bid. So the down-only bid will charge 10 cents maximum per click, but it might charge less as well. So that's the one we're going to click. We're going to leave the bid adjustments off because we don't want to be increasing our bids. And then we're going to give our campaign a name. I'm just going to name it the same thing as the ad. You can choose a portfolio if you want to add it to a portfolio, and you need to give it a start and end date. So I like to run mine until Christmas Eve because there tends to be a nice spike in Q4, and then you need to give it a budget. So one thing to mention, I'm putting $10 here for my daily budget, but that doesn't mean I'm going to spend $300 during the month. The likelihood is this ad might spend $1 a day. But if you really want to be safe with this, reduce it down to $3 and see how you go. And then I think this is just on the US marketplace, but I would untick this increase bids for high traffic days, because you want to control your bids on Amazon because we're bidding low amounts. And then when you're ready, just click Launch Campaign. So once this product ad is launched and working, you want to come back and review it after a week. If it's not getting any impressions and any clicks, you might need to up the bid a little bit because 10 cents is a very low bid. You might need to increase it to 15 cents, for example. But as we're on a budget, let's start it nice and low and see how it performs. So the aim of these product ads is to get you a load of clicks, a decent amount of orders at a very low cost per click. The next thing I'd set up on a small budget is an auto ad. These are a great way to find out what works for your book. Imagine these as casting a wide net in terms of product targeting and keyword targeting. And then what it's going to do is target the things that works well for your book. To set these up, again, we create a sponsored products ad. We select our book, and then this time we leave it on automatic targeting. So you can see here, as we come down, it's got a suggested bid here, which is quite nice and low at 21 cents. That's a good guide, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the right bid. And what we can do is we can click this set bids by targeting group. So what I would suggest if you're on a small budget is untick this loose match option. You can either untick it or bid very, very low. So I'd say either untick it or bid something very small, like 8 cents, to try and get some cheap clicks. That loose match is going to target really wide search terms. So for this dog colouring book for adults, it might try and target colouring book for adults, dog book for adults. So it's not going to convert that well. So that's why I like to turn off the loose match or bid very low. The close match is where you want to focus this auto ad. And so this is saying 21 cents. So I'm going to bid 20 cents and see how that gets on. And then your substitutes and your complements, you can see here the suggested bids are a bit lower, and we're going to go at the bottom end of those at 12 cents. They're going to find individual products that, if it converts well, you could add those to your product listing as well. You can add negative targeting here if you want to. And then again, you need to adjust your bids to down only. If you want to give your book a better chance of appearing at top of search, which is where you get the majority of your sales for search terms, you can increase your bid here slightly. But as we're on a budget, just be wary that's going to increase your bid. So let's say if I increase it by 10%, that 20 cent bid could go up to 22 cents. We're going to give our campaign a name again, do a start and end date, set a daily budget of $5 just to see how that goes. And again, on the US marketplace, we're going to untick this increase bids option, and then we can launch the campaign. So when you're getting going with your advertising on a small budget, those are the two ads that I would create. You've got your product ads, which is going to cast a really wide net on similar items and hopefully get you a few cheap sales. And then you've got the auto ad, which is going to find what works for you on Amazon ads and allow you to then create a manual ad in the future. As mentioned, the auto ad, as it's on a lower bid, will likely be similar to those product ads. If you come back to it in a couple of days, 3 days, it still might not be serving. So with both of these low budget ads, you want to give them at least a week to see if they start getting impressions and start getting clicks. If not, you'll need to increase the bid by a few cents and then monitor performance after that. If you're not seeing any impressions or any clicks after maybe a week, I'd recommend going back in and updating the bids. But if these ads are serving and you're starting to see a few clicks, especially some impressions, just leave them going. As we're on a low budget, it's going to take a bit more time for you to get those clicks and to get those orders. So as long as you're getting clicks, give it a month and see how they're performing. Now that product ad that we've set up, as long as it's getting a good ACOS, which is your advertising cost of sale, you can just leave that running indefinitely. Because you're getting quite cheap clicks, as long as you get in an order every 15, every 20 clicks, that's likely going to be a profitable ad for you. So you can just leave that going and it will continue to get you sales over the long term. Whereas with the auto ad, that's likely not going to be directly profitable, especially not in the shorter term. So what you can do with your auto ads is, if you've got any sales through that, is you can take the data and create a manual ad from what's worked well. So here's an auto ad that I've left on for some of my colouring books, which is working really well. And when you come onto it, all you need to do is click this search terms option and then select the date range to the last 65 days. And then what you want to do is you want to rank by orders. And then this is going to tell you what is performing well for your books. So you can see here, book on spiders for adults. I've had 1 click and got 2 orders. So I could add that keyword into a manual keyword ad. It might also give me an idea for a new book to make within this series that focuses on spiders. This one here has got 14 clicks and 2 orders. So not a bad conversion rate there. These 2 search terms here, The conversion rate's not great. One order in 20 and 23 clicks, so I wouldn't target those. But then this one here has got 1 click and 1 order, so I would target that. So that's what you want to be doing. You want to be looking at what's converting well and setting up a new manual keyword ad based on what you're getting orders from within your auto ad. And why we're doing that, we're doing the auto ad and then the manual keyword ad, is instead of just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks with a manual keyword ad from the start, we're allowing Amazon to find out what works. Then when we're getting the data in, we can extrapolate that, set up our own manual optimized keyword ad, and then that's going to likely perform much better for us than just going with a manual keyword ad from the start. So that's how I'd recommend using Amazon ads on a low budget. So to start with your book, it's a low bid product ad targeting a ton of products. It's an auto ad set up on quite a low bid. And then once you start getting data, you can set up a keyword ad, which is going to be optimized for keywords that are converting well. You can probably do this effectively with $20 or $30 a month per book. Or you can set up these ads with multiple books in there of a similar niche, a similar genre, a similar target audience. So you don't necessarily have to create an ad for every book. You can put multiple books in these ad units. Then over time, if these are performing well, especially if they're making you a profit, you can increase your bids, you can increase your daily budget, and then hopefully over the long term, they can make you profit. If you want to watch more videos on Amazon ads, you can check out my playlist that I'll link in the corner now. Otherwise, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, drop any comments down below with any questions that you have about Amazon ads, and I'll see you in the next one.